It's yours?
No,
Your mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must have...
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
My son, I have 6 children, and my second child has struggled with alcohol addiction.
Didn't your father introduce you to drugs?
Well, let me put it this way. It was such a permissive time, and it was that culture, and so we were not discouraged.
In high school, he would go to parties, he would get drunk, and he would come home and he'd get in trouble and, all of that. And then in 2014, I think it was, he was driving under the influence of alcohol one evening.
Saying that you were playing the part too realistically.
I actually researched the role of Julian for 10 years following the completion of the movie.
Was your performance unaffected by whatever you were doing at night?
Yeah, there was some concern because we'd finish doing the party club scene and they'd be like, all right, that's a wrap, time to go home. And I'd be like, no, now it's time to do the party scene for real.
Got into an accident, a car accident. He was driving the wrong way on the freeway and took the life of a 19. And that devastated our family, that whole incident. Up until then, he would not have said that he had a problem with alcohol. He would say, oh, he just partied, he just drank on the weekends. But in retrospect now, he says he definitely had a problem with it.
When we return to the story of Robert Downey Jr., drugs land the troubled actor in prison, and he reaches out to a psychiatrist for help.
I said, Robert, I believe that you had bipolar disorder. He said, yes, I do have bipolar disorder. There are periods of times that I'm so hyper and I spend a lot of money, I'm irritable, and there are periods of times that I go down.
Has certainly been Downey's shadow. 1996, the actor violated his probation when he fled from a detox center, his rehab stemming from several drug and weapons arrests.
I love working with the families. I put my mom through a lot of hell in my life. So when I get to speak to a mother, I know what she's going through, and I'm able to really help that mother or that dad or that family cope with what's going on, being able to explain why their grown-up child is doing what they're doing, and being a point of contact where I can just be available for that person. On the way over here, I was talking to a grandma who's paying for treatment for her grandson, and we spent about 20 minutes on the phone of just explaining to her how, this too shall pass, and one day the investment you're putting into your grandson will pay dividends, and you'll be able to enjoy him in his true life that God willed him to live.
We're learning more tonight about the young man killed by a suspected drunk driver on the 210 freeway in Azusa. His grieving family gathered for a vigil tonight near the crash scene. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride is there with the latest as the victims' loved ones make a plea for justice. Melissa?
And Jory, Justin Romo's family and friends came here to the Vernon exit just off the 210 freeway. They placed candles and his picture here. They are grieving his death, and they say it was an accident that could have easily been prevented. He was still alive. He was still alive. Lupe Garcia and her family can't believe her only son is gone. 19-year-old Justin Romo was killed on the 210 freeway when his Nissan was hit by a Honda. That driver was going the wrong way.
So getting them into treatment is the first challenge. Moving forward from there, keeping them sober is the second challenge. And that looks like, taking them to meetings, AA meetings. I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I have a sponsor. So I could sponsor people. I could be their mentor. I could be their sober coach, their life coach. their spiritual advisor. So it's really all across the board. One gentleman, I'll give you a quick story on. It took me 2 months to get him into treatment. This guy was fighting with his life to lose his life, if that makes any sense to you. And, I had to work with the parents and set boundaries. So it went like changing the locks, shutting the phone off, taking the car back, all these things of building boundaries to be able to basically isolate him where he was butt naked in the wind and had no other choice to come into treatment. And I walked him through his first year of sobriety. We would meet every other week, and I'd always be available to talk to him. And he's over 1 year sober now, coming up on 2 years. And I'll tell you this much: he was the kind of kid that people would bet money on that wouldn't make it. And he's doing fine. I got him a job in the treatment field, as a tech. And he's truly blossoming, and that's just one of the many examples of people that I've been blessed to help.
Like the crime I committed, like I'm murdering a young individual, an innocent young man, and I was like, dang, that was never my intent. Like I just wanted to go out and have fun and drink, but I was doing it every single weekend just to escape the pain that I had. And so 3 days after feeling so bad. And all I see is addictions are, everyone talks about it in here, they talk about it as escape. I want to escape reality, and that's exactly what I was doing. So since I was able to drink my pain away, I tried to take my life.
With someone completely against wanting to even go to treatment in the first place. They don't want anything to do with me. They don't want anything to do with treatment. They're not done. They still got a lot of drugs to do, a lot of alcohol to drink, and they're just not ready. So that context of help looks like me just following up with them, texting them. They get at a point of weakness where the drugs are too much, the drinking is too much. Lord knows I've been there a million times. And I catch them. I catch them in that brink of a moment when they're finally ready. And you got an alcoholic, rave DJ, that also did a lot of drugs, anything I can get my hands on. And I destroyed my life over and over and over again. Did a lot of jail time, did a prison term. And after I was 1 year sober, I just randomly stumbled upon an ad on Craigslist back in 2015, sent in my resume. Long story short, got hired on the second interview and never looked back.
And in that moment, I realized, I was like, all right, I can't even kill myself, right? So I said, man, if I'm going to live this life, so everything that has to change, I have to throw everything out. So me, I hit rock bottom, so I knew, I said, man, I can, and I never wanted to make never wanted to create any more nexus again. And for other people, their rock bottom could be a different thing. But for me, it was Justin that was my rock bottom. Me murdering Justin was allowed me to say, like, you know what, I'm never going to take another sip of alcohol again. And then also, I went to, there's a 12-step program, and the first step, it talks about what an addict is. And it says, in the first step, it says, I am powerless over my addiction, and my life became manageable. I did it, I was powerless over my addiction, and my life became manageable. So obviously, anything that makes your life unmanageable, and that you constantly do all the time, means you're addicted to it. But mine just got too far.
Garcia says her son's death is a tragic example of what can happen if you drink and drive.
Me personally, I just picked up any positive book I can get. So in prison, people are able to get books sent in, and usually family members send them stuff that is positive. So when these guys are done, I'll pick up and I'll read every single possible thing, and then also Bible helps me. And then not only that, like I said, I became an avid learner. And when I became an avid learner, and I learned about what alcohol does to the body, I was able to say, dang, I'm not gonna put gas in my body no more. And so that's why I'm a huge believer in just educating myself every single day. And have 60 seconds remaining.